Mailbag time. What's up, everybody? Get your questions in. Apple Podcast 5-star review and ask a question. Do it early in the week. It's got a better chance of being read on the show. Your emails at fantasyfootball@cbsi.com. And if you're watching live, youtube.com/fantasyfootball today. We will get to your YouTube comments at the end of the episode. It's Adam, Jamie, and Dan Schneier. What is your shirt? You have a giant shirt on, and what does your shirt say there? What kind of slogan is that?
Training camp starts here. 2006 Giants. This was the year before the Super Bowl win in 2007. I was at training camp with my father up in Albany. We used to go all the time when it was in Albany. Great time, Adam. And it's a great day for me today. You want to know why? No better way to start your day off than cracking a joke, getting Adam to laugh at it. Immediate laugh. It was a natural, immediate laugh leading into the show. So those of you who heard him laughing in an intro, that was because of me and a joke I said. He won't give me credit publicly for it, probably, but that was a joke I said. And there you go. There's Jamie Eisenberg over there hiding behind the mic.
Your shirt does not say training camp starts here. It says
training camp starts here.
No, it says winning starts here.
Oh, winning starts here.
Oh my God.
I was going to make fun of the shirt. You have a giant shirt on that says winning starts here. But in your opinion, it says training camp.
Well, he's already planning for training camp.
Yeah,
it's time to start thinking about training camp.
What a motivational shirt. Training camp starts here. Giants 2024. All right, everybody, let's get to your questions. First, quick news items. James Conner is trending in the right direction. That's what we got on Friday afternoon. He's trending in the right direction. So we'll be ranking him and telling you all about it on Sunday. And Zay Jones is unlikely to play. If we get any news as we do the show, we will keep it going for you. And yes, keep it going. We'll update you on it. Yeah, sorry, I got distracted because Zach Brook, our producer, said, "How does a shirt from 2006 still fit?"
That's me. See, and it actually does.
You have no room to comment, Adam.
Look at this. You can't even call it a tight shirt, Dan kind of day. This is a loose shirt. Still fits. I know.
Loose shirt.
What?
It's your loosest shirt.
No, it's not my loosest shirt, but I mean, it's 2006.
No, the hoodie. The hoodie is definitely
that hoodie was so legit. That hoodie was awesome. I'm bringing that hoodie back one of these weeks.
We do have some news, and we have this question here that does not need to be answered, but the question is, who's funnier, Adam or Dan? I'm not even going to answer it. I'm not going to answer. You'll find out. You make the decision throughout the show. Zach Taylor says that T. Higgins is out, which we expected, but also Sam Hubbard, pass rusher, is out for the Bengals. Unfortunately, this game is going to be defined a lot by who's out rather than who's in, but hopefully we get good news on Jamar Chase. All right, Apple Podcast questions. This is from Travis in Omaha. Rest of season, I traded Jerome Ford and Trevor Lawrence for Kyron Williams. I have Fields and Murray at quarterback. I think it's just a 1 QB league.
Yeah.
And I have Eckler, Kamara, and Mostert. So would you trade Ford and Lawrence for Kyron Williams?
I would. I think there's more upside with Kyron based on what we've seen. And the fact that the Browns just lost 2 offensive linemen, or lost the second key offensive lineman, is going to be a little problematic. You've seen a little bit too much Kareem Hunt. So Kyron coming back in week 12 for the stretch run of the playoffs, I will take him over Jerome Ford.
I would do the trade. I don't have as high expectations maybe as Jamie, just because I am concerned with any offense led by Carson Wentz, especially mid-season Carson Wentz, just trying to pick up this offense out of nowhere. But
you don't expect Stafford to come back?
So I expect him to come back, but it's a matter of, like, if you're in a season like this where you're out of the playoff contention, what is ultimately the incentive to come back unless you're 100%? So these types of situations just get tricky for me. So I'm just a little concerned with that, I would say, because this offense without Stafford is not an offense I want Kyron Williams in.
Yeah, I do need to bring something up about Kyron Williams that I didn't do on Wednesday when we talked about him on the trade show. When Cooper Kupp came back, excuse me, they played 2 games together, and Kyron Williams had 2 targets in 2 games. One of the things that was really good for him was he had 10 targets in week 2, 7 targets in week 3, 3 targets, 3 catches, 24 yards in week 4. And we knew it was going to happen. But when Cooper Kupp came back, his role in the passing game absolutely cratered. So I do just think you have to keep that in mind. He's not going to be nearly as involved as he was early in the season. Can I ask you guys for trade help? Because I am struggling with the trade offer I just got. All right. It's 2 QBs. Taylor Heineke is my 4th quarterback, so I don't need him. I would give up Mahomes and Heineke and I would get Fields and Puka Nacua. What do you think?
Out for me.
Yeah, I'd rather have Mahomes than Heineke.
Really? All right.
I'm giving up Mahomes in a 2 QB league.
Oh, Mahomes, the sixth best quarterback in fantasy football.
If I'm giving up,
go ahead.
Mahomes,
make funny and laugh about Patrick Mahomes. That's a good.
Getting Fields back. Getting Fields.
If I'm giving up Mahomes, though, it's got to be so much of a slam dunk. This is not a slam dunk.
Right. How is this even close to slam dunk? You're taking a receiver who's now number 2 with a potentially bad quarterback situation, and Justin Fields, who's already injured.
He's coming back next week.
For now, we'll see what happens with him.
All right, fine. I won't do it.
So obviously the manager you're trading with needs a second quarterback as well, right?
Yeah.
Could you trade Heineke and something else to get Nacua?
Right.
Well, I think really like how much do I want Nacua? He already traded Nacua to me in one league, and it's worked out horribly. So I don't want to.
Well, if you said you're not playing Heineke at all, like that's just turning a dud into an asset.
Yeah, maybe. All right, this is from Skelly Rowe, and I don't know why he writes this, but he writes, in Alien, Paul Reiser locks Sigourney Weaver in a room with an alien to save himself. Okay, thanks. Everyone is high on Dak Prescott, but I'm concerned with the game script. Pick one: Prescott, Stroud, or Kyler Murray.
Well, I would say this, that the Giants fans don't even know if it's training camp or winning when it comes to the apparel that they wear. So they're confused. The team is confused. The situation is beneficial for Dak. I would take my chances with Dak because I think there's clearly a scenario of them building a big lead defensively and with their run game, but the way Dak's playing right now, all the quarterbacks are missing this week. You're in a good spot because you have Stroud also. So if you want to go with him over Dak, I wouldn't fight you on that one. But I just think Dak's locked in right now, so I would stick with him.
Yeah, Dak is the play here for sure.
From R. Cody D. Dear Kevin, Nora, Patty, and Holly Wayne. Oh, no, Holy Wayne. Holy Wayne. Okay, dear Kevin, Nora, Patty, and Holy Wayne.
I think this is Leftovers characters from the Leftovers.
Correct.
Oh, my God, am I good?
Let's go.
Have you ever seen that show, Adam?
Love it.
Oh, you do love that show?
Yeah, it's a great one.
Oh, I didn't think you watched any good shows. So, all right. I mean, obviously, not including like Frasier, which you just spent 27 hours watching 6 seasons or whatever the hell long that was. But yeah, Leftovers. By the way, if you love that show and you like Lindelof and that style of TV, Adam, you should try Mrs. Davis on Peacock.
Okay, I definitely won't do that. Thank you, though. Cody's question is, should I start Trey McBride over Jalen Warren in half PPR?
I would, yes.
I'm going Warren.
All right.
And
what?
Jamie likes the setup for McBride.
Oh, I love the setup for McBride this week. Yeah, I just think it's Kyler back. The Falcons have really been bad against tight ends when they've been featured, and I think he's going to get featured. I mean, look, you're counting on Jalen Warren to be significantly involved in the passing game, and that's not been the case for the majority of the last 3 weeks. I don't know if he scores. I just think McBride's got a higher ceiling.
The other part of this question is he has James Conner coming off IR. Who should he drop in PPR? Zach Moss, Tank Dell, or Gus Edwards?
Ooh.
It's got to be Moss if that's your only choices.
Yeah, I was thinking Moss too of those three.
Let me throw one thing out, though.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you don't need to. Let's say you're good at running back now that you have Connor back. Does it make more sense to keep Moss in case there's a Taylor injury? Because I don't see a path for Gus Edwards having nearly as much upside as Moss if there's a Taylor injury.
Well, I counter that upside with the last 3 games that he just had. I mean, he's 17.
I feel like if Taylor's out for the season, you're going to take Moss over Gus, though.
Sure, if Keaton Mitchell and Justice Hill are out for the season, then Gus Edwards is going to be just as good as he has been. I mean, there's both sides of that. If you're going to play the injury card, if you want to go that route, also keep Jalen Warren just in case something happens to Najee Harris. So
I think he was planning on that. All right, so you're dropping Moss.
If everybody's healthy, I'm dropping Moss.
Okay. All right. This is from which one here? Seth. Hey, John, Brock, and Russell.
Broncos quarterbacks. John Elway, Brock Osweiler.
Russell Wilson. Good. Hey, you're on fire.
Day and a half for me so far with this.
You are definitely training camp this game.
Yeah. And I don't even use Google like Adam does.
What a great joke.
All right, trade proposal. It's a 2 wide receiver league, PPR. I would trade Eckler for Kyron Williams, Jerome Ford, and Bijan Robinson?
No.
I mean, you saved the best for last there. Yeah, I would.
You do that?
If you're starting, let's say Eckler and Jaleel McLaughlin, like you're cycling through crappy number 2 running backs, you're getting 2 starters.
I just think the difference between the Jaleel McLaughlin versus those 2 quote unquote starters, Ford and Williams, which I guess they are starters technically, is not enough to make up for the difference between Eckler and Bijan.
This is from Eagles 0-16. Subject: Adam is still the funniest on the show. All right, look, I didn't say it.
You read it though. You pinpointed that email. There's thousands to choose from. He chose this one. Just keep that in mind, people.
Dear Sponge, Billy, and Apple.
Bob's.
Yeah. I have Stroud, Kyler, and Fields in a league, and I have Stroud and Kyler in another. Who do I trade, and what should I expect in return?
I think Stroud is probably the best bet to get the most back at this point, right? Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah, no, I'll say something I say when we get these questions all the time. If you see a manager that needs a quarterback and you're not sold on which one you want to get rid of, you approach that manager and say, here are my 3 quarterbacks. Which one do you like the best? Make me an offer. And that starts the conversation because you're not sold on it. I agree with you, Dan. Stroud's going to bring back the most likely. Fields could still command a pretty hefty price tag, and so could Kyler, because of what he has been. So you never want to necessarily sell yourself short. And so if you're a little bit, uncertain, hey, Adam, here's my 3 quarterbacks. Which one do you want the best? Make me an offer.
Yeah, that's a great point. How would you rank them rest of season? Fields, Kyler, Stroud.
Fields, Stroud, Kyler.
I think I would go Kyler, Fields, Stroud.
Oh, okay.
I really do.
The only
Kyler, what's Kyler's
like
points per game in the games he started? I think you had a stat on this earlier, Adam, didn't you? Did I miss this? I think he's in the 20s in points per game over his career. Kyler.
Oh, it wasn't my stat.
Started and finished. I thought maybe it was Chris Towers.
I mean, I'll tell you in a second, but he
has started and finished. I think it was.
He has shown QB1 upside.
I feel like it's more of like a floor. His floor is even extremely high in games he started and finished, but I got to find that. It's a Chris Towers.
Right, wall upside. Last year, he was QB 11 per game, but he would have been QB 7 per game if you took away week 14 when he had 1 pass attempt and he tore his ACL.
Yep.
I think just something else to keep in mind is that the Stroud has already passed his bye week. The other 2 guys still have their bye week, so you're going to lose a game.
Yeah,
with Kyler and Fields.
All right, guys, we'll go a little faster here. We have a lot of questions today, actually. This is from The Stick Does Not Stay in the Burger. I don't know what that's in reference to, but it sounds like good advice. McBride, Jonnu Smith, or Taysom Hill? Who do you like this week?
McBride in PPR, Taysom in half and none.
And a quarterback, Kyler, Dobbs, Minshew, Mayfield.
Kyler for me. I'm riding.
I would go with Dobbs, but it's close.
And a wide receiver, JSN. I think he's going to be. I don't think Downs is going to play, so he's going to be your only one. Okay, we'll move on. This is from Frankenstein's mom. Grade the trade. Nico gave up Nico Collins, Jalen Waddle, and Darrell Henderson. Nico, Waddle, and Henderson. Got Amon-Ra St. Brown and Brian Robinson.
Yeah, amazing trade.
100% win, especially if you needed somebody for this week. You may have given him 3 players that aren't playing this week. Nico with the calf, and then 2 guys on a bye.
I mean, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown, and you didn't have to give up anyone near Amon-Ra St. Brown's level, so that's easy.
From Ethan, I think it's a good trade. By the way, I don't know that Jalen Waddle is nowhere near his level though.
This year, I don't think he is. I don't think it's close either. And if you look at Amon-Ra's schedule, the rest of the season, Lions have a really good schedule, fantasy-wise, over the rest of the season. And, Waddle gets, half the volume of Amon-Ra St. Brown on a week-to-week basis?
Yeah. All right, from Ethan. Mayfield, Lawrence, or Kyler? 6 point.
Kyler for me.
Mayfield.
From Bailey, grade the trade. 10-team, PPR. I have Tua and Fields, and I lost Dallas Goedert. So I give up Tua. So he still has Fields. I get TJ Hawkinson.
I'm fine with it, I guess.
As long as Fields is back next week, you're okay. If not, then you're
Yeah.
going to be quarterback searching again.
This is from somebody in a small town in Indiana. Dear Tony, Jeff, Dale, and Denny. Feels very NASCAR-y to me.
Yeah, that does feel NASCAR-y. I don't know for sure.
Tony,
but
Jeff, Dale, and Denny.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Dale Earnhardt, Denny something, Jeff,
Denny Hamlin.
Yeah,
Jeff something.
Tony Stewart, Jeff Gordon. It's
Yeah,
NASCAR.
That makes sense. I was thinking at first when you said you said in Indianapolis, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe Jeff Saturday and Tony Dungy as
It's
Colts
just-
coaches.
Yeah.
I attempted that was just I knew one of them, and I just yeah, Jeff something, Tony something. Terrible guess. That erases all the goodwill I did earlier in this podcast.
We've got some very good comments about Jamie's microphone, which is the size of his face.
Oh my god, it's so big.
That microphone is so big it captures his thoughts.
Look at it now. We can't even see his face.
Yeah, it's
Bigger than his entire face. This microphone.
Mike
It's
face.
also the angle. I've recorded from that studio. It's also the angle. The setup is just not like it doesn't make any sense. Like the microphone is at level with where you're sitting, but needs to be either lower or higher.
Okay. Here's the question.
You didn't like that technical breakdown of Jamie's
Not
mic?
really. Start two wide receivers from my stacked team. Deontay Johnson, Mike Evans, Christian Watson, Devontae Adams, and Jordan Addison.
Doesn't sound that stacked to me.
Well, he also has T. Higgins.
Okay.
It's pretty stacked. I would go. You said Christian Kirk and Deontay Johnson were two of them.
I did not say that. I said Christian Watson. Watson, Johnson, Evans, Adams, Addison.
Evans
I
and
would go
Deontay
with
for sure.
Deontay and Evans.
Yeah.
You only need two, so
There it
Deontay
is.
Evans it is. From Morissette, I traded away Zach Moss and Cortland Sutton for James Conner. Yeah, I love it.
That's a hell of a trade. Wow. I can't believe anybody would do that.
From Gambino Mafia, hey, Aaron, JK, Kirk, and Cam. Yeah, I know.
ACL tears, injuries, no injuries.
Achilles.
Oh.
Did Dobbins tear his Achilles? No, he
No,
was ACL.
Dobbins was.
What was it? Aaron?
Oh no, Dobbins was his Achilles, right? No.
Was
Oh,
it?
I guess.
Four
No.
Achilles? These are Achilles.
Yeah.
I guess not.
Aaron Rodgers, J.K. Dobbins, Kirk Cousins, Cam Akers.
Wow.
Would you trade away Goff for Dalton Kincaid? I have Fields and Kyler,
Yes.
and I love Goddard.
In a heartbeat.
Yep.
In a heartbeat, folks. We've got some good fantasy cops for you. When we
boy.
come back, stay tuned on Fantasy Football Today. Welcome back, everybody. Should have had the music queued up, but after all, this is my first time hosting a show. Here we go. All right, it's time for the Fantasy Cops. Send in your league disputes. Put Fantasy Cops in the subject line.
I have a new segment.
Fantasyfootball.com. Oh, yeah?
Microphone cops.
Microphone Cops. Sir, your microphone is as
Rest
big as
this.
your face. Yes, no kidding.
It
I
does
just-
look like a nice mic, at least.
You sound good. That's
Yeah.
the most important thing. 12-team redraft league with a group of friends for 10 years that you can trade draft picks in. 8 teams make the playoffs out of 12, and we also have a punishment for the last place team. All right, let's see if we can follow along. Team A and B are both 2 and 7, and they're in 11th and 12th place. But they both could still make the playoffs if things fall their way these last 5 weeks. Team A decided that he's going to start selling some of his players for better draft capital next season. Team B tries to join the rest of the league and buy some of the players that Team A is selling. Team A tells Team B that although it's a fair trade, he won't trade with him since they're both fighting to avoid 12th place. Team B then decides to contact Team C and offers him a 3rd round pick if he can get the player, in this case it's Ramondre Stevenson, by the way, from Team A for a 4th round pick. So Team C would get Ramondre Stevenson for a 4th round pick, would then turn around and trade Stevenson to Team B for a 3rd round pick.
Mhm.
This deal has gone on behind Team A's back. So this does happen. Team A and Team C work out the deal for the 4th pick, and 5 minutes later, Team B and Team C follow through on their agreement. Team A is screaming that this is collusion and they are plotting against him, so he ends up in last place. 8 teams, including me, the commissioner, think the move is fair. 4 think it's shady and are causing an uproar. My question, is this collusion or just a smart move by Team B because he still wants to compete and try to make the playoffs?
This is an
Smart
interesting
move
one.
by me. I don't
Because-
think it's collusion.
Well, it's an interesting one because by definition, it is collusion, right? This is collusion by definition. No,
I don't think so. I view it more as a
I,
three-team.
but I agree with Jamie that this is just savvy management, and I don't want to take it away. But like, is it fair to say this is not collusion when other things are collusion?
What's
But
collusion?
in this case, though, they're not colluding to help each other in the sense of like a cheating way. Like
Not
he's
helping one team. Collusion is when you kind of
Right.
help one team.
right.
Right.
Right. Both teams get helped by this.
They're both, yeah. I think this is fine. I think it is a little sneaky, but I could see an NFL GM doing something like this, right?
Yeah, I think it's savvy as hell, personally. So I'm good with it.
It's really funny. I love that. 5 minutes later, the trade goes through. That manager must have been so
Yeah, I know.
pissed off. I love it. All right, this one.
Why would you give
Waited a little
Ramondre away
while
for a fourth round
Do
pick?
the
though?
trade. What'd you say, Jamie?
Why would you give Ramondre away for a fourth round pick?
Because he's 2-7, he's out of it, so he's just getting a 4th round pick next year. I don't think it's a keeper league, is it? Is it a keeper league?
It's a weird league because
It's a redraft league, and you can acquire draft picks, but it doesn't say that.
Oh, then that's a great trade.
Yeah, and it's even better to get a 3rd round pick for Ramondre.
Yeah.
All right, from Conrad, dear Matt, Sean, Walter, and Lofa.
No idea.
Was that USC? Lofa Tatupu, remember him?
Yeah.
Sean Alexander, or I don't know.
No.
Matt Leinart.
The Seahawks from the late
Seahawks.
90s.
All right.
Oh,
See.
wow. It's a good pick.
Sean Alexander doesn't go to USC.
I don't even think Zach was born in the late 90s.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know. He Googled that. 12-year, 10-team Superflex League. We have a manager that's 3-6 and in 8th place. All other competing teams have 5 wins. He's 3-6. I'm the commissioner, and I'm out of it at 2-7. The 3-6 team traded Tyreek Hill to a competing team for Sam Laporta, Jordan Addison, and Zach Moss. The 3-6 manager is the most novice player of the group and strictly goes off points earned and doesn't factor situations. I've had only to reject one trade ever. I normally would approve this, but other managers are upset because this would be his 3rd suspect trade this season. The difference is he seems to be out of playoff contention at this point. So should he be able to trade Tyreek Hill for Laporta, Addison, and Moss? And he's only 2 games out of the playoffs, I have to say.
If he's 2 games out of the playoffs, then there's no reason for him not to be still competing because there's enough time to catch up.
Yeah.
So I don't think this is a vetoable trade.
I don't think it's vetoable either for that same reason. And I also don't know if it's even that bad to begin with.
That's a pretty bad trade. I mean, you're giving up Tyreek Hill for Laporta, Addison, and Moss. That's terrible, I think.
It's not good, but
It's
it's like you liked the trade last week that was worse than this.
No, I didn't like the trade. I didn't like the trade. I just thought it wasn't vetoable.
Well, this one's
And
not vetoable.
No, I agree. This one's not
vetoable either.
All right, this one's from Zach. I am a manager of a team in a dynasty league. The commissioner put out a notice a few weeks ago about teams starting active rosters. I was one of the individuals who had a player on a bye. This past week, my starting tight end was out, and I did not start an active tight end because I didn't have one. I'm currently tanking for draft pick position, so I would have just picked up a 4th tight end from a random team anyway. The commissioner put out a notice for me to text him and clarify why I haven't. I texted him, and I never heard back from him. I find out today that I have been removed from the league.
Oh, my God.
There's been a few issues with this commissioner in the past, such as approving his own iffy trade right before the playoffs. So I'm fine with being out. Am I wrong, though, for asking for my money back? I've played fantasy football for over a decade and have never had a problem like this before.
You should absolutely ask for your money back, and I would let the other 10 people or however many people are in the league know that this guy, what this commissioner did, and say, if you'd like to remove him and we continue the league someplace else.
Oh, I like that.
That's just stupid. Like, why?
Yeah, I like Jamie's idea. Let's continue the league without the commissioner. Move
And
on.
as the commissioner of a dynasty league, if I were going to kick out the tanking managers who have accidentally started inactive players, Dan Schneider would have been kicked out 3 or 4 times by now.
I just rely on Adam to fix my lineup every week. That's all.
Well, thanks, buddy. I really appreciate that.
I am very curious to see because Dan is tanking in 2 leagues.
No, the one league I inherited a tank job. Okay, go on.
Well, you're still tanking. You're continuing to tank.
Unfortunately, I don't know how to get out of that hole. I've tried. Go ahead.
You didn't try hard enough. I made you terrible trade offers and you turned them down. That would have benefited you. Terrible for me.
Like what?
I offered you what I offered you second round pick for Allen Robinson last year, and you said no.
Oh, that one was that was tough. That was tough. No, by me. That was way early.
But I'm curious to see what Dan's gonna do with these teams and turn them around. I think the one in your league is much more doable based on the roster that he has.
That one. The one in the YOLO, it's just tough because I inherited basically nothing on the roster, and I just have to figure out how to get that. Like, I don't have much to trade. Like, I got forced into making a bad trade with Heath, where I gave him Mark Andrews because the draft started and my roster was over the limit, and then I couldn't draft players unless I made a trade. It was just a horrible management by me. Also, a stupid quirk in the league, by the way.
I got to tell you, man, I'm sure Dan is one of the 3 teams. The 2 other managers might be listening right now. So you're not doing anything wrong. And I have no problem with what you're doing. Don't take offense. But we got 3 teams tanking out of 12 in our Big Burger Dynasty League. Yeah. And I just hate it.
Year one, too.
Yeah, the first year, it's like, and one of the guys, I mean, he is set up for so much future success. But so it could be worth it. But
I have 2 first round picks next year.
Yeah, I think Tim has
No, he has a million. Yeah. I also don't hate my team either.
No, your team's not bad, but I mean, you make it bad. All right, anyway,
all young guys. Yeah, it's all just young guys that haven't hit.
Fantasy football at cbsi.com. This one is from Jason in Pennsylvania. Give me 2 of this group: Nico, Addison, and Madison.
Nico, Addison, Madison. Well, we can't do Nico. He's out. Probably.
He's not out.
Well, he's most likely. Okay, maybe he'll play without practicing. I'm going to say the other 2. I don't think
if Nico plays, then pick 2.
If Nico plays,
I'll go easy. If Nico doesn't play.
Yeah, I would say so.
Nico and Madison, if he plays. I don't think he's playing.
And the other option here is T. Higgins that he gave us. So
nothing.
Yeah, I would bench Madison if Nico plays.
This is from Connor. Pick 2 of 3. Nico, Calvin Ridley, Deontay Johnson.
Well, this one's easy. Calvin and Deontay, even if Nico plays. It's a good week for Calvin, I think, to get back on track.
I would go Nico if he plays.
You think
Nico did not practice today?
Over Calvin or over Deontay?
Over Calvin. But Nico did not practice today, so it looks like he's out.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, he's probably out.
Just came through. Notable Texans not at practice today. Nico Collins, Damian Pierce. They're missing Tuo, and we know Kyrie Fairbairn's out.
Can you say that 2-0 more times?
2-0.
There you go. Close enough. From who's this emailer? I don't know. I don't have a name for him. Hey, Frank, Carlos, Elijah, and Christian.
Frank. No idea.
Just think about the last 2, Elijah and Christian, and go from there. These are clearly 49ers running backs.
Oh.
Frank Gore, Carlos Hyde, and then Elijah and Christian.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Rashi Rice was dropped in a 12-team PPR league. Who should he drop to pick him up? Options include Harrison Butker, Tajay Spears, Zach Charbonnet, Brock Purdy, and that's it. Maybe Jerry Jeudy.
Bucker.
All right.
You need to stash this kicker. There's no guaranteeing he'll be outscoring these random other kickers.
From D. Although you are probably ready to put a stick in this whole debate, I thought I would chime in with some additional information. We had lunch with our former exchange student from Finland and her husband last week. Mm-hmm. He ordered a hamburger that came with a stick in it. He left the stick in the burger and ate around the stick before taking it out. Also, he ate it with a knife and fork, which I believe is the custom in many countries. Has Dan checked to see if he is part Finn?
No, don't. I was loving this until the knife and fork thing came out. I'm not a knife and fork guy. I don't eat my pizza with a knife and a fork. I don't eat my candy bars with a knife and a fork. So,
what?
I don't eat my burgers. You don't know. You don't. Would you say what to that, Jamie?
Come on, Jamie.
Come on, Jamie. Seinfeld. You got to know that one. You're mad at me for missing references. You can't even get a Seinfeld reference. Come on.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great Seinfeld bit.
Yes,
He was eating a Snickers with a fork and knife or something.
Yeah. Yep. But Listen, I have actually had more feedback on this than you guys would realize on Twitter. Thank you very much. And someone sent me a picture today or yesterday of a sandwich they were eating, not even a burger. That's the point. A sandwich they were eating in Spain, I believe, or one of the countries over there. Might have been Portugal, something like that. I'm sorry if I forgot. And it had chicken cutlet, avocado spread, all sorts of stuff on it. He left the stick in there. It came with a stick. That wasn't a temperature stick. That was a keep your sandwich together stick. Okay.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna start asking every restaurant I go to. Do you keep the stick in when you eat? I'll take a an informal poll.
Yeah. Okay. Does offering Travis Etienne and Eckler and Pitts for Taylor and Andrews seem like a reasonable trade? Give up Eckler and Pitts, get Jonathan Taylor and Mark Andrews.
I mean, that's a win times a billion if you make that happen.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I
I'm
feel
not
like
sold on a times a billion, but I'm good with it.
I feel like I'd rather have Taylor than Eckler.
Me too.
I would not. I like it. What I saw from Eckler last week.
He's just not running the ball well. You know,
Doesn't matter,
it
though.
doesn't really matter, but it matters a
You
little.
like what you saw from Eckler last week against the Jets?
I liked in the red zone. I liked how he scored. I just feel like he's looked like himself to me for the first time. I know the running wasn't there. I get that.
The catching wasn't there either.
He had
No,
7 targets. He had 7
But
targets.
he had what I wanted, which was the targets. There's no one else to throw the football to anymore there. Quentin Johnson's not getting those targets. And the red zone looked good to me. That's what I want at Eckler.
All right, let's see if Dan is old enough to know this one. This email, by the way, is from Dan, a different Dan, I assume. Dear John, Jim, Dan, and Ken.
John, Jim, Dan, and Ken. This could be John, Jim, Dan, and Ken. So this is like Ken's
This is something that people make fun of the Jets for.
quarterbacks.
Yes.
John
Elway.
Quarterbacks they didn't get. John Elway, Dan Marino,
Jim Kelly, and the one they got was Ken O'Brien.
Ken O'Brien, okay.
Still the greatest quarterback class of all time.
Yeah. I need 3 of these 4 running backs.
Better than Eli, Roth, and Rivers?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Elway, Marino, and Jim
Kidding. Elway and Marino. That was easy. All right. Again,
O'Brien
you're going
wasn't
further
bad
on that terrible take. I don't want that buried in. It's a horrible take. Let's erase that. Somebody
Bad take. I don't know. You're not going to be trading camp many games with those quarterbacks. I need 3 of these 4: Etienne, Bijan, Eckler, and Aaron Jones.
Etienne, Bijan, Etienne. He needs 3. Eckler and Aaron Jones. I'm going to go the first 3.
I'm sitting Aaron Jones.
Yeah,
I'm
same.
sitting Bijan.
You're crazy.
I love Aaron Jones. He's my start of the week.
Is he?
Well, I just love him. I
If
mean,
you had one?
I think he's probably going to be 2 started, but he said he wasn't even 100% last week. He's hoping he's going to be 100% this week. The Steelers don't have a good run defense, and even if they did, he's getting so many targets. He's getting 5 or 6 targets 3 games in a row. So I love him. Aaron Jones. Let's go. Chris from Denver. Give up Calvin Ridley and Deontay Johnson for Devontae Adams and Marquise Brown. This is a non-PPR trade. Ridley and Deontay for Adams and Brown.
Out on this entirely.
I'm in.
Okay.
What is it again? I'm sorry.
Ridley and Deontay for Adams and Brown in non-PPR.
Oh, you love Marquise Brown with Kyler. I forgot.
Well, I think Deontay in non-PPR is, a downgrade. But I would do this to get Adams.
The upgrade upside of Adams, sure. Yeah.
I don't see much upside with Adams.
Okay, this is from Kevin. Please pick 3 wide receivers and a flex in full PPR. Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, DeAndre Hopkins, and Deontay Johnson. First of all, who are you sitting there? Wilson, Olave, Hopkins, Deontay. You got to sit one.
Good God, that's a loaded group.
Mm-hmm.
Godwin, I'm sitting.
Nope, I didn't say him.
No, not Godwin. It was better than that.
Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, DeAndre Hopkins, Deontay Johnson.
I'm struggling with this one.
Man.
I don't want to
just make Godwin part of it.
I'm sitting Deontay.
I'm not.
I don't want to sit Deontay, but I also don't want to sit Garrett Wilson against Raiders. I don't really want to sit Olave. And who was the last one?
I'm sitting Olave.
DeAndre
I'm
Hopkins.
probably going with Olave because that was I can't sit Hopkins with Levis, so I guess I have to sit Olave.
And then you need a flex from Olave, I guess. Joe Mixon and Javonte Williams.
Oh wow, this is a stacked team.
I'm gonna go Mixon at flex.
I'm good with that, especially without. No, actually, damn it, I don't want to play Mixon at flex with potentially Chase injured and not playing, or playing as a decoy and no Higgins. I think the offense could totally crater without those two. Go Olave for me for my flex.
All right. I think I have just a few more emails here, and then we'll do your YouTube comments here. This email is from No Name. Dear Charlie, Dennis, Mac, and Frank.
Always sunny characters.
Yeah, all right. I was going to ask Jamie if he knew that. Pick 2 running backs.
Sorry.
Bijan will be 1, so pick another one. Zach Moss, Tyler Algier, or Leonard Fournette if he's active.
Moss.
Okay. By the way, who wins in a 40 between Jamie, Dave, and Heath?
Oh, I have a clear answer, I think. I'll let
Heath.
Definitely. Yeah, it was gonna go Heath by far, but I don't know if that's
I would think I'm faster than Heath.
Ooh, I love that. Yes, that was what I was hoping to get at that. I've seen you both recently. That's not a good way to judge, though. But Heath looks like he's faster than you. That doesn't mean he is, but he looks like he's faster than you.
He's tall, so he's got a height advantage.
Stride length. He has that.
No, Dan is actually, this you might not know about Dan. This is in all seriousness. He's very good at looking at people and determining their speed. Very, very skilled. But Heath runs like every day.
Oh, that's also that's like endurance. We're talking about
Jamie doesn't exercise. Jamie, when was the last time you exercised?
Yeah, that's a good question.
August.
Yeah. Okay. Mickey in a city that's home.
Does moving the tee off the home plate in T-ball count as exercise?
Do you rush it first?
Depends. Got a championship game tomorrow. Gotta be on my game.
Hey, let's go. All right. This is Mickey in a city home to Volcanoes Stadium. I never heard of Volcanoes Stadium. Dear Sean, Lassie, Juliet, and Gus. That would be psych. I tried baked burgers for the first time tonight against my will, and I have to admit they were just fine. Nothing wrong with cooking them in the oven, but I did need a toothpick to eat this burger. So I was curious if I fall in the net positive or the net negative in Adam's eyes. Baked burger, but needed the stick. I'm going to go negative here. I'm a big Seahawks fan. I'm curious what you all have seen from the lackluster offense this year. Certainly seems like Geno has regressed significantly, but it seems like it's more than that. And I don't just mean the line issues. The offense doesn't have nearly enough pre-snap motion. It's way too bland. It seems like there are far fewer deep shots being taken this year, which was his bread and butter last year. Basically, he wants to know what we think of the Seahawks offense.
It was incredibly detailed evaluation. You nailed it with a lot of that stuff as far as the pre-snap motion goes, as far as not taking the deep shots not seemingly there. I think part of the issue for them is that they've been juggling all season with what kind of offense they want to be, like as far as like using 12 and 13 personnel at times, getting those extra tight ends on the field, and then going back to different looks with 11 personnel. Injuries haven't helped. I would say that if they can get all three of those receivers fully healthy and feeling fully healthy at the same time, we'll start to see some more of those vertical shots again from Geno Smith. But part of it is they have to obviously get back to a position where they can give him those launch points in the pocket to throw from. And without protection and issues on the offensive line, that becomes very hard to do.
I've been watching them a decent amount lately, and Geno has been terrible the last couple of weeks.
He has not looked good.
I don't agree.
In Baltimore, though.
Yeah, that's true.
True.
I don't agree that they have not taken as many shots. I did think that, but I actually just looked at the numbers, and it's not so much that he is throwing fewer deep shots. He's just having a lot less success. Metcalf's been playing through injuries. Lockett might be getting old. So it's a lot of things, but I definitely think Geno just had like this charmed season last year. You know, one of our guests that we had on, I want to say Beyond the Box Score preseason. I wish I remember who said it. Said that Geno Smith last year, he had maybe like the most dropped interceptions or the most interceptable balls that weren't intercepted or something like that. So I think he got a little lucky last year, and the turnovers have hurt. All right, last one is from Andrew. Hey, Adam, Dave, Jamie, Heath, and Schneider. I'm 6-3.
What the hell was that?
Half PPR league. I offered the Justin Jefferson manager, Tony Pollard and Calvin Ridley for Justin Jefferson.
Ugh.
What do you think? Did he overpay? His team is now Herbert, Breece Hall, Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs. So he's pretty loaded. Justin Jefferson, Puka Nacua, Deontay Johnson, Jahan Dotson, and Dalton Kincaid.
It's an overpay in my mind.
It is an overpay, but if Jefferson comes back, let's put it this way: if Jefferson had been playing all along, could you get Jefferson for that much?
Yeah.
I still like.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Maybe I'm not as
what
high as
Pollard
you
has
guys
done?
are on Jefferson's return. I am not high at all on this Jefferson return to fantasy football for a multitude of reasons. One, I think a risk of re-injury with a hamstring and soft tissue injuries is really high. Two, I just don't think magically him and Josh Dobbs with zero rapport together, zero time spent together, no timing, no rhythm in the passing game are just going to all of a sudden be awesome. Josh Dobbs is not good throwing downfield. First of all, we know that. And he has no reps with this guy. I just maybe I don't think he's going to be horrible in fantasy or anything. I just don't think he's going to be that level that we're used to with Justin Jefferson.
No, I don't think you should go into expecting that level. But
You're giving up
75% of Justin Jefferson is still top 10.
Will he be top 10? I would say he'd be fringe wide receiver 1 every week with some really bad 4 for 46 type weeks or 8 for 82 type weeks that aren't terrible and get you right on that fringe. But I don't know. I mean, Pollard and Calvin Ridley. You're giving up 2 guys you're starting until Jefferson's back. We don't even know when.
Look what they've
You're
done, though.
You're overrating Ridley quite a bit.
And Pollard.
Yeah.
It's not like maybe they are more name than game. I'll give you guys that. But they still both have potential. I don't hate JJ Kyle Beck. I think he's the best receiver in football when healthy. He's coming off a soft tissue. Kyle Beck says Dan hates JJ. No, I don't. He's coming off a soft tissue injury, and Josh Dobbs is his quarterback who just joined the team. Like, situation matters, right? Or else we'd have different opinions on everyone across the fantasy landscape.
It's not a bad opinion that he's not going to be the same guy. But Dobbs has also never been in a system like this with weapons like this. So, will Kevin O'Connell, who I think is a pretty smart coach, buy into putting Jefferson in enough reasonable spots that will maximize Dobbs' potential to get him the ball? So I would bank on that. Ridley has been arguably a bust. And Pollard, we talked about this Wednesday, is in the conversation one of the bigger first-round busts of the year.
Yeah, they both made the all-bust team. I'm pretty sure. Okay, let's I can't remember if we settled on Bijan or Pollard. Let's take a break, and we'll read your YouTube comments. When we come back, make them about Dan, and they will probably get read. All right, we'll be right back on Fantasy Football Today. Okay, we're back. Dan, what social activities are you doing by yourself this weekend?
Concert by myself a couple weeks ago. Never recapped it. Unbelievable experience. It's 8 feet away.
I'm pretty sure you.
I don't think I had my opportunity. I will say this though, concert by yourself is pretty fun, so I'm for it. But this weekend, nothing. I got nothing fun. I wanted to golf today. It's 49 degrees out by me. 49 degrees, and just devastating to lose golf like this for good. I just didn't see it coming. Fell in love with the game. Got addicted this offseason. Now I got nothing, Adam. This is going to be a bland weekend.
Didn't see that cold New York weather coming.
No, it hit me like a ton of bricks. Maybe I'll watch UFC tomorrow night. That might be.
There you go. Play some poker, man.
I'll play some poker. That's always for sure. That's a given.
All right, let's get some questions here. This is from Dylan. Should I trade Kelsey for Bijan Robinson and Puka Nacua?
No. Aim higher.
He says he needs a running back, but
Aim
I
higher.
still say
Wow. Okay.
not giving him Kelsey.
Okay. 12-team Dynasty Superflex League. The Mahomes manager is dealing him.
Whoa.
You give up a 2024 first, a 2025 first, and Jamison Williams.
Do it before another manager gets this. Do it fast. Do this immediately. Those 2024 first and 2024 first. Oh, first of all, unless you're 2024 first, is it like first overall? Are you that bad? I don't know, because then you're getting Caleb Williams. In addition to, I still want Mahomes, though. I still don't care. Mahomes is 27 years old, right?
Sure.
I would see if maybe you can turn
he's
Richardson and one of those picks into Mahomes.
He has Lawrence and Richardson.
I can't
All right,
believe
either
someone's
way,
willing
do
to
it.
trade
Get
Patrick
someone home.
Mahomes. Just
Yeah.
insane to me.
Okay, from Matt,
Dynasty.
pick 3. Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, Demario Douglas, Brian Robinson, and Dalton Schultz. Who are your 3?
Ugh.
Schultz
Robinson.
is the easy one for me.
I'll go
I would go
Robinson,
Schultz.
Douglas.
Douglas and Robinson. Yeah.
Yeah, sit the
Yeah.
Packers, right?
Final 3. Sit the Packers. I don't want anything to do with this Packers offense
I
versus
have to
Pittsburgh.
start Christian Watson in like 3 leagues this week.
Fired hard on the under, and then weirdly the over. It's the point total sort of moved toward the over, which was odd. But
What are your thoughts on Taylor Heineke this week from Girk? I have Mahomes on a bye.
We had 4 quarterbacks that we talked about on the waiver wire show. He was the 4th of just, desperation plays to varying degrees, but desperation plays for this week. And it's a easy matchup against the Cardinals. I think that game's actually going to be more high scoring than people expect because I think the Cardinals offense will show up. So I don't mind Heineke, but he's not my favorite bye replacement.
Okay, this one says, Dan, in half PPR, would you trade Montgomery and Olave for Gibbs and St. Brown?
wow. Yes, I would. But I would, but I don't think it's as big of a slam dunk. No, what? I take it back. St. Brown's in this trade. What am I thinking? Yes. Easy. Do it immediately before this offer comes off the table.
Why don't you find another, make it Montgomery and Laporta for Gibbs and St. Brown, just all lines. Yeah, you're getting the best player, so it's the right move to make.
Would you trade Brian Robinson and Christian Watson for T. Higgins or even Tua? Yes.
No, but
Well,
he's
you're
3 and 6,
6.
so you can't really trade for Higgins since he's out right now.
Or Tua. He's on a bye. But
I wouldn't do
No,
it
you
because
do it anyway.
You need this win, but not. Yeah, I mean, you kind of should do it anyway because Christian Watson and Brian Robinson,
they're
Right,
terrible.
exactly. Like you could definitely. First of all, okay, I would not trade for T. Higgins right now because if he's missing this week's game, which
Right.
he is,
Yeah.
they play Thursday
right?
next week. So you're probably talking about at least a 2-week absence. It's just a guess. Maybe he comes back, but I'd be surprised. So
If the choices are these two, it would be Tua.
yeah. But everyone should just be aware of that. T. Higgins plays on Thursday. So if you buy low, you're probably getting I'm not an expert, but be at least prepared for him to miss at least 2 games. Oh God. Nice shirt, Dan. Do they make them for fantasy analysts?
This shirt is
so
perfectly picked. The shirt is falling off of me here in the sleeves. What are we talking about?
I think he was just calling you a non-fantasy analyst.
I don't get it. What does that have to do with anything?
I think start Demario Douglas and
Go right over my head like that thing you guys tried to tell me last week that I then slow motion told you back.
touch down there.
Here.
PPR, Demario Douglas, Noah Brown, or Jerry Jeudy?
Judy.
Yeah, I was leaning Judy, so I'll just go Judy here.
All right, let's read 2 more. Jamie is truth.
Yeah.
Misspelled Jamie. Flex 1
False.
in PPR. Jahmyr Gibbs, Taysom Hill, or McBride?
I think I like McBride the best.
Yeah, I'm okay with McBride for full PPR over Hill. I don't love Gibbs this week at all.
And Dan looks like he has a 54 handicap.
Actually, buddy, picked the game up 3 months ago, 4 months ago, whatever it was. Already shooting low 100s, baby. And that's without a short game. Drive, as Thomas said the other day when he joined this podcast, Thomas Schaefer, shout out Thomas Schaefer, not on today. He said, wow, Dan started the day hitting 7 of 7 fairways. And that was a true and accurate statement. So get off the tee good. So no, not a 54.
Of course, it was the same
You are
fairway
defensive.
every
What'd you
time.
say? It
You
was
are
what?
defensive.
Mhm.
I said it was the
That's
same
what we should have
fairway
done,
every
Adam. You never golfed before, right, Adam?
Yeah, I used to golf in high school.
Oh, okay. Wow. So
How'd you find the time as a backup goalie to be on?
You were a backup goalie in what?
I
What
was.
sport were you a backup goalie in?
Soccer. I was the best
I didn't
backup
know
goalie. on
You
the
were a
team.
backup goalie on your high school soccer team?
So the
They
story is
had backup goalies on the team?
we had this class my junior year in high school. We had this class called soccer skills. It was like an alternative to PE. And we just played soccer. And I played goalie and I was okay at it. And the coach was like, you want to join the team? I was like, okay, fine. So I was the backup goalie. I was basically almost nothing was expected of me. Like everybody was running and getting in great shape. And I wasn't, but we had a great goalie. I'm pretty sure he played college soccer. He was so good, but he had this propensity for picking up like yellow cards in the box and giving the other team a penalty kick. So he would foul someone in the box. I come in, get scored on a PK, and then he'd come right back in the game. That was basically my career as a high school backup goalie. And then there was one game that I was a senior, he was a junior. The last game of the year, I played the entire game. I started. It had monsoon, and we were playing some crappy team on some crappy field, and it was mud. And that was my start. And so we're warming up, and someone takes a shot from like 15 yards away, and 15 yards or 15 feet, 15 yards away. And I dive for it, and the ball stops in a puddle, like 10 yards before it even gets to me. So those are the conditions of like me, like swallowing muddy water, like diving around. That was like my moment of glory in high school. Anyway, here's our last question. Start 2 running backs in a flex. Pollard, Rashad White, Jahmyr Gibbs. Pick 2 of those.
Pollard, for sure.
Pollard and White. That's easy.
Yeah, that's fair and easy.
And then a flex. Gibbs, Ridley, Kincaid.
Ridley for me.
I'll go Kincaid.
Yeah, same. And then Ridley or Kirk in a different league. And Kirk. And then Laporta or Kincaid.
Kincaid.
Ooh, that's tough, huh?
That's tough, but I'm going to go Kincaid as well.
All right. Wait, is this a real story? Zach, you were the 6th man in badminton. Is that real?
Yeah, so I signed up late. I was undefeated. We were really good. I also I'm 6'4". I've got like a 6'6" wingspan, so I could like go all over the place. But the kids were really good. But they only let me play once because you don't get hurt in badminton. So there's not much playing time. But I am undefeated in Baltimore County, Maryland badminton history.
Wow.
Wait a second. You're 6'4"?
No, it was insane to me, Adam. When I saw him in person, it was the most insane, unexpected thing I was ever, right?
I thought he was our height. I thought he was like 5'9".
I thought he was like 5'9". He was all right or something. No, Zach Brook is a 6'4" human being. And I saw him in person and was stunned by this, Adam.
You're taller than Dave, right?
Yeah.
And
I led my rec basketball league in block shots one year. So that's
Stunningly tall, Adam. Stunningly tall.
I can't. This is destroying my brain right now. I can't process.
You cannot process the size of Zach Brook over there.
Holy cow, that is so weird. I've only ever seen him sitting down on Zoom.
Same.
All right, that was sitting down. I did a lot of that when I was the backup goalie. By the way, I was really good at it. Thanks. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we will.
Training camp starts here.
Losing starts here.
Ridiculous. Later. Have a great weekend. Happy Veterans Day, and we'll talk to you on Sunday. See ya.